Hello and welcome. This is India Tonight. I'm Shivani Gharat, and joining us today in our Mumbai studio is my colleague Ankur Mishra, who is back from PM Modi visiting, meeting Emmanuel Macron in Mumbai and accelerating Indo-French ties. But a lot is happening today. First of all, there is the India AI Impact Summit, and then of course big thing was also India and Indian IT companies heating up in the AI race. Now, in a bold step amid the global AI race, Infosys today announced a strategic partnership with US AI leader Anthropic. The collaboration integrates Anthropic's advanced Claude models, including Claude Code, with Infosys Topaz AI platform to build enterprise-grade AI agent. This comes days after the last week's heavy sell-off in the Indian IT stocks, which wiped off tens of billions on fears of AI disruption. Now, many analysts are calling it an overreaction, especially as Infosys shares rose in the news today.
And Shivani, the bigger question is, will other major IT players follow this tie-up model? And as the frontier AI remains massive compute, will Indian firms increasingly lean on US tech giants and that infrastructure? Infosys co-founder Nandan Nilekani today actually warned that AI progress is rapidly outpacing enterprise readiness, questioning if Indian companies can close the gap fast enough. What I can understand right now is it's a glass half full or half empty kind of situation. There are views on both the sides.
Yes.
But what happened today? And to understand that, Infosys has actually launched AI first value framework, leveraging Infosys Topaz to target an incremental $300 to $400 billion global AI services opportunity, and that is by 2030 across 6 strategic pools. My colleague Ishika is joining with details on this story.
In a major move today, Infosys has announced a strategic collaboration with Anthropic to unlock AI value across complex regulated industries, and the objective will remain to deliver advanced enterprise AI solutions across verticals. Now, the focus of this collaboration will begin with telecommunications, followed by verticals such as FinServe, manufacturing, as well as software development. Now, talking about the technology integration of this collaboration, it will involve Infosys Topaz with Anthropic's Claude models, including the Claude Code, and it will focus on automating complex workflows, accelerating software delivery, amongst other things. Now, talking about the industry-specific applications here, in telecom, it will focus on modernizing network operations and improving customer life cycle management. In FinServe, it will focus on faster risk detection as well as assessment and personalized customer interactions. And in manufacturing and engineering, it will focus on accelerated product design and simulation, along with reduced R&D timelines. So the overall strategic intent of this collaboration is to drive transformation AI value, which will be beyond just efficiency gains, and the focus will remain on domain expertise, frontier AI models, and engineering scale. Back to you.
Ishika, thank you so much for getting us all those details. Now, joining us today to discuss this and more, we are joined in by CP Gurnani, co-founder and vice chairman of AI on OS. I believe I'm saying the name correctly, Mr. Gurnani. And also joining us, we have Achyuta Ghosh, who is the executive research leader, HFS Research. Mr. Gurnani, let's just come to you first. Just a couple of weeks ago, and even all through the last week, we were discussing the entire SaaSpocalypse, this Anthropic launching, introducing Claude to the world, and the kind of, sellout that we had seen in the IT sector around the world. And of course, the IT stocks in India also taking a huge hit because of this SaaSpocalypse. And now today, Infosys has tied up with Anthropic. So in what direction is this Indian IT services sector headed going forward? Will we see more such tie-ups going forward? What is going to be the long-term story for the Indian IT services sector?
No, I personally believe it's a very, very good move by Infosys, and I personally would like to congratulate Salil and Nandan for taking a very affirmative step. And I couldn't help but chuckle that 2015, when Vishal put in an investment into OpenAI, seeing the wave, maybe he was a bit too early, but the reality is Vishal Sikka did see OpenAI coming in, and today Anthropic and OpenAI are clearly dominating. OpenAI is today dominating the consumer space, and Anthropic is trying to take over the enterprise space. But at the same time, OpenAI is not far behind. They are also launching Codex, which is the equivalent of Claude. And the second thing I'm reminding myself is about 27 years ago, everybody was in a race to participate in ERP solutions with SAP, Oracle, and at that time even Microsoft. And the fact is that partnership helped not only Indian IT companies grow, but it's also the Accentures of this world grew because of those partnerships. So I see this as a fast forward 2026. We will see many more announcements of these partnerships. They are inevitable. They are not only good thing for the Indian IT services company, but I think it's a win-win for the technology provider, win-win for the customer, and win-win for the employees of IT services companies.
All right, so that's the verdict which is coming in from Mr. Gurnani. I want to come to you, Mr. Ghosh. What is your analysis on what has happened so far? As I was discussing with Shivani earlier, it's glass half full or half empty. We don't know because there are views on both the sides. How do you read the situation? Do you think that partnership is one thing which the companies can scale upon, especially India is concerned?
Of course, if you see the recovery, the narrative has totally flipped, right? Investors have realized that while AI can code, definitely, it cannot really manage migration of technology for a global bank, for example, right? The recent surge actually proves that last week's extension narrative was actually a little bit premature. The market will price AI as an opportunity rather than just a threat. And there is a lot of examples of these AI partnerships coming in together, right? I mean, TCS and AMD, they launched Helion, Open Rack Scale Sovereign AI platform. You had Cognizant and Google Cloud coming together. You had Wipro and Factory deploying autonomous dryouts. You had HCL and NVIDIA focusing on physical AI. Tech Mahindra also partnered with Sina XG, right? So you've seen a lot of these partnerships happen in the last couple of months. And I think this year is going to be more of that, very partnership-led approach as AI becomes an opportunity.
Absolutely, partnership-led approach. But, like, for example, if agents like, Claude Code are in fact reducing or can automate the tasks by 30% of, this legacy companies, what is the kind of impact on the headcounts that we will see in the IT sector going forward? Because they also recruit, thousands of software engineers year after year, after their final semesters are over.
Right. I think what I see is that the pyramid is actually going to maybe flip. It may end up like a dumbbell, a barbell for that matter. Traditional lower end jobs some of those jobs would probably be done by the agents, while many new higher end ones will be created upwards of the pyramid. 65% of the developers that we have surveyed actually expect their roles to shift towards architecture, integration, AI-enabled decision making, right? Instead of a wide base of junior coders doing repetitive work with a narrow top line of architects and leads, you probably have a narrower base where AI actually handles most of the grunt work. With a much wider middle and top, humans doing architecture, orchestration, context, judgment, total value of the work actually will go up. And you may probably see freshers also not coming in at the entry level, but coming in at the mid level also. So the coder to checker transition of talent would continue to happen. And this is what we at HFS call as services as software.
Let's get Mr. Gurnani's reaction on, the impact of all of these tie-ups. It also reduces the number of billable hours to these IT services companies. So what is the kind of impact on the revenue margins that, some of these IT players, or IT services players will see going forward, Mr. Gurnani?
My personal observations are little contradictory to what the hype in the press is. Number one is we have to remember, while our phones in the hand are smarter than or have more power than the mainframes, even today there are insurance companies and banks which run on those mainframes. That's number one. Number two, cloud is a tool. And ultimately, every tool has to be humanized. That's my number two. And number three, I think we all have underestimating that the power of innovation, the power of change, and the power of the pie getting increased. So my personal belief is that there will be definitely a shift in the skills that are required. The profitability should actually increase because we are going to use the tools. And initially, I do not see an immediate impact because, in my opinion, building trust with the tool, building, data laws compliance, and putting in the cybersecurity norms into place, it will require a little bit of runway. But since the pie will increase, I am assuming is better skilled people will always be required. And yes, we will have to spend a lot of time in upskilling and making our employees relevant.
Right. And hence, the next question to you, Mr. Ghosh, what has happened in market so far, and not only in India, but globally? Initially, there was a lot of beating, and this week particularly, there is a rebound. I want to understand from you, was this an overreaction which has happened so far, or you think that all these questions were warranted?
Yeah, I think we discussed this in the first question also, that there is there was a reaction from the media when all these products were. It's not only about Claude, but also about OpenAI's Frontier platform that was also released, right? I mean, both of them, said that agents can do a lot of these activities. So there was an overreaction there. But as we are moving from a vendor ecosystem to more of a partnership-led ecosystem, we'll probably figure out. And if you look at enterprises, right, all our industry analysis, when we look at our enterprises, we see that only 7% of the enterprises, the end users, are really ready for agentic AI implementation. The remaining 93% of them are nowhere near replacing their IT service providers with agentic AI. The plumbing is not there. There's no governance. The data is not ready. Leadership alignment is not there, right? So enterprises need an incredible amount of plumbing to make AI work inside their systems. And this is where IT services companies will continue to grow, invest, build the data infrastructure, and then implement AI. So I think that was an overreaction from my viewpoint.
Mr. Ghosh, hence one follow-up question which comes to the mind. When you are talking about overreaction, do you think then that this is the correct time to buy the IT companies, be it Wipro or other IT companies apart from Infosys?
I don't know. I don't invest much in stocks, so I'd let Mr. Gurnani also answer this.
Let's go over to you, Mr. Gurnani. Will you?
Yes, I will. And obviously, I wait for, some of the analysts to panic and create a sense of what I would say the best prices for a buyer. But yes, I am an investor and I will buy.
Absolutely. It's said that while the progress that AI has seen is very rapid, the Indian enterprises, IT companies are not moving fast enough to catch up with some of the progress that AI has seen. Where, according to you, Mr. Gurnani, is the bottleneck? Is it with the C-suite? Where does the bottleneck lie, according to you?
I think, again, you have to take into account it's an equation of all three. So, for example, at Ionos, I launched a product called UniWeave, which takes into account that with the availability of agentic AI, with the availability of the software that is available on the cloud, many of the traditional switching and the traditional way of doing customer interfaces is no longer required because we were an AI native company. Now, from a customer point of view, they want to wait and watch. They don't want to always change what is working because on a balance sheet, IT for some companies is 1% of the cost, or for some companies it is 5% of the cost. Now, when would you tinker? You would tinker when you have 100% confidence. So that is number one. And number two is, I know at least for Ionos, when Mr. Ghosh talked about governance of agentic AI, I have a product called Unistack, which is exactly doing the same thing, that multiple AI agents that my clients are employing, how do I make sure they are orchestrated, they're harmonized, and they work in a secure environment? So I do know that building a secure and a trust platform takes a little longer. And I do not believe that the Indian IT companies are not working towards creating a win-win with their customer, because each one of them, if you really see even the 9 companies that have been selected, Tech Mahindra, where I was a part of that company for almost 20 years. I mean, remember, they are part of the companies that have been selected to demonstrate LLM for Indian languages. It only shows is Indian IT services companies have invested and they are capable.
My next question to you, Mr. Gurnani, is actually in 2 parts. I want to understand what will it take for Indian IT enterprises to stay competitive in 2026, and the second part to the question is, what will it take? What is the critical skill that an Indian IT professional needs to be relevant in 2026?
So let's first start with the skill. The fact is, in today's environment, whether you're working with a company like Upgrad or whether you download the courses on your own, every AI, the heart of AI is data sciences, and that if we are able to do well on data sciences and prompt engineering, we are ready to adopt any tool that we need to deploy. Number two is, from a skill perspective, it's no longer about automating a process workflow. That we have been doing it for a long time. Now it is all about reimagining how to take advantage of the tools that are available to you so that you can deliver faster, better. And you heard about the cloud. Yeah, you will hear more about the codex as we go along. Now, for an IT services company, I think they've always been moving up the value chain from a T&M to outcome based. I think they need to become a lot more proactive in suggesting how AI can help their clients either in their business development or in their reimagining their businesses. I think the more they participate at a CXO level.
Right, Mr. Gurnani, point taken. In the paucity of time, I'm interrupting you in between. But thank you so much with your views, Mr. Gurnani, as well as Mr. Ghosh. And we all hope that Indian IT goes to the next era with the new technology, with new AI partnerships. And moving on, India and France